Do I have good money?
Do they look so?
They don't match your shirt at all. Hey, I'm Rebecca Gordon.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Gordon.
And on this week's special edition of the Weekly Wednesday Wrap-Up,
we're going to talk about a lot of Part D changes for AEP.
There's a lot. And we're going to tell you probably why it's happening. So stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
All right, so this is super cool. Anthem came out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and they said, we're not going to pay any more commissions this year on our enhanced Part D. We'll pay renewals. And I was like, all right. And then Aaron had said something about Mutual of Omaha's Part D. And then I'm hearing stuff about maybe Aetna's Part D. And it got me thinking,
What's up?
What's up? So could COVID have anything possibly to do with this? Do you know what the average cost for a COVID test is?
What?
It's between $800 to $900. However, do you know what the cost is if you're down in Miami?
What?
$2,400 to the insurance company. Huh. That's all on the internet, folks. I'm not making up these figures. So I asked our marketers this morning. We have like 30, 35 people. We meet every morning to discuss the industry. I asked, how many of you know people who've had a COVID test? 99% of the room went up. I said, how many of you know people who have had repeated tests?
And I would like to show my results.
Repeated tests.
Because a week ago, I got all the symptoms of COVID. I got all the symptoms, so I was like, oh, crap. So I quarantined until I could get my results.
She did. She followed all the rules. She did very good.
I do not have it. I have a sinus infection. But every time I cough and sneeze around people, go into a freak zone, so I have to show my results. And they're like, well, are you sure those results are valid?
Exactly. That's what I thought. It could be false.
Right. My fever never got above 99.4.
But that is interesting. The amount of people
like me
have been tested
I had 2 antibodies
multiple times this year.
I had 2 tests.
Someone is making a lot of money off these tests. Somebody's making some money.
So, Part D changes. Mutual of Omaha, boom. If you haven't stayed abreast of what happened, they finally went into Med Advantage after 15 years in a very limited market, and then they pulled the plug on it. So they're not in Med Advantage anymore. They sold that, but they're still in Part D, which is also relatively new for them. They discontinued their value plans, and they're introducing new low premium plans that they're going to call Premier. They will be crosswalking members from the value plans to the plus plans with an effective date of 1/1/21. This will increase premiums. So something, if you have sold that plan, to get out ahead of and talk to them about. They will be notified in their annual notice of change letters, the ANOC letter. For those of you that are new, that ANOC letter is the changes to your existing plan that comes out in October, so that should be getting ready to come out soon. That generally generates calls to the agents because people go, I don't know what this means.
And Envision, current members will need to re-enroll with a short re-enrollment for Elixir plan if they want to continue for the 2021. We're seeing a lot of movement in this market, in this Part D space. If this is something you're heavy in, really reach out to us. Make sure that you're doing everything in your abreast of what's going on. But it's just kind of interesting. This COVID thing has been good for business.
And the consolidation, so Aetna's not paying. Most people aren't on that plan anymore. That got sold to WellCare.
Your energy's real low.
Aetna.
Being sick.
Aetna! I bought my Silver Scripts, and that's a Silver Script 1.
There she goes.
That's some good news with United
Silver
Healthcare.
Script.
No changes on the Part D. I'll take
Thank
that.
God.
I'll take that.
Thank you.
But they did have some other cool changes.
Yeah, this is cool.
So they rolled out this Premier Producer.
Can we say?
It's like for elite agent thing.
Oh, okay.
There's different levels. So this is the congratulations on the platinum one. So that the agents that write a lot of business can get some more perks.
So is this an invitation only?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you got those, that means that you got a certain amount of points that you can go into the thing to order stuff. It's the toolkit.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you could get window clings and car magnets and stuff with your points. So that's really cool. I like it.
That is nice.
I like it. They also haven't officially announced, but they are supposed to have it ready by October 1, the voice signature. So basically it makes every agent have the ability to do remote.
Yep. And that's for everybody.
That's for everybody. And
is it safe to say you're kind of like a call center? You're like a one person?
You're like a one person call center, yeah. And with COVID and nobody knows what's going to happen
right. It's
with
beautiful.
the fall, you have the ability to not miss a beat and continue to work with your clients remotely and to do that voice signature. Now, we don't know all the details, but if you're not using Lean yet, get on Lean first, get set up with Lean, familiarize yourself with Lean, and then get ready for the enhancements that are supposed to come out 10/1.
That's exciting.
Yeah, because you might be stuck at your house, you might not be able to leave. You might be sick, your clients might be sick, or the government might not allow you to go out. Climate might not allow you to go out. You have to have a plan.
And as we spoke on the last week's episode, we just brought a new partner, Mr. Nick Williams, with us, who will be heading up our phone sales division. So stay tuned for more information coming on that.
Oh, the Medicare millionaire.
The Medicare millionaire. Now, we do need to kind of, this is the time of year, things get bottlenecked, and we see this with contracting, and I'm always, don't know why carriers don't realize that they're going to bottleneck this time of year. So we have a list of carriers that are like 4 to 6, maybe 8 weeks out on processing contracts.
So this is I was in a couple agents' office last week because I like to travel when I'm sick, and they were like, "Hey, no offense, but you guys are really sucking right now with such and such carriers contracting." And both of them said the same thing. And it's not us. I don't want to pass the buck, but it's on the carrier. And so that's why I thought maybe if we just tell them some of the carriers what their turnaround time is, so you know in advance when you recruit some agents, it's going to take about this long. Because people have the opinion that everything's electronic and boom, boom, boom.
Right. It is bottlenecks. So Mutual of Omaha, about 4 to 6 weeks. GPM, Gerber, Royal Neighbors. I would give all of these 4 to 6 weeks. Anthem, looking at several weeks on getting
way
theirs
slower,
processed.
way slower than it needs to be.
Allianz Life.
On the life side, they are the slowest, Allianz. And people think they're so big, they're one of the largest companies in the world. I don't know. Their contracting is the slowest.
But Protective Life is less than a week.
Yeah, Protective is one of the fastest.
So thank you.
And typically, if you see really hot rates, really hot products, all that demand, and people don't do that. Like F&G's, their fixed annuity was on fire, and so they got all the business. So of course the business is slow. And sometimes I think agents don't just stop and think about it. It's always going to follow suit.
Look at the cycle.
I think they think, hey, if you're going to have a really awesome product, you're going to staff up to handle the demand. And the answer is no, never.
That doesn't make sense.
I've never seen that happen.
Does not make sense.
That's a good idea, though. Before we close out this issue, I want to talk a little bit about the chatbot. There's Dad.
So handsome.
He loves his chatbot. This right now is only Medicare questions, but we will be expanding this to life and annuities shortly. If you've used it, will you let us know in the comments what your experience has been? If you haven't used it, go in and use it. Prank them, ask them something. Just see how quickly they respond. Try to trip them up, see if they give you the right answer. Let us know. We are giving out these buttons. These buttons say, ask me about medical, dental, and vision. I know this looks hokey. If you wear this during AEP, I guarantee this button
all works.
will make you money.
It all works.
Because I always forget to ask, because I'm in a hurry and I got another appointment. And you put it on there, and they'll say, hey, I've been seeing your button. And then that's something to go back to them on. Follow up. If you don't have time, let it passively mark it. It will work. We will send you a button if you try the chatbot and let us know your experience. And we haven't warned the team that they're going to get tested. But I used to test them all the time when we first started it. So they always be like, is this Sylvia? So once I stopped doing it, they still kept thinking it was me, and it wasn't. Then it was other people. But it's very handy when you're in the field and you're with a client and you're, like right now, if you have a sinus infection, you're just not thinking clearly and quickly, that you can ask somebody that's live. It's live 9 to 5 Eastern Standard. And it's real licensed agents behind it. It's not a robot.
I love chat boxes.
It's live chat.
I use them all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't like when it's a robot.
No, when they're real, I love them.
You know how to tell if you're a robot. Another
fantastic.
FMO has a robot. And it's like, hey, what's your name? Let's get started. And then you say, hey, my name's Sylvia. And they're like, well, Sylvia, how are you today? And you're like, I'm great. And it's like, it's a beautiful, they're just like buying time so they can look you up in the computer and the chat bot. And then they're finally like, what's your question? And they're like, just 1 second and I will get you. And it's like, oh my God, I hung up.
I wasted my time.
I hung up. This is a live person. When they answer, they're right there. Okay. So we've had a lot of great responses from it. When you are in the field, there's just too many things to know, but there's somebody that's got your back. Try it. You can also get it on your phone. If it saves you, please let us know.
Let us know.
That's all I have for this week.
Have a great week, folks.